Hey everyone, welcome back to Byte Sized AI. I'm Michael, joined as always by Randy. Randy, there's been a ton of news about new models this week. Can you give us a quick recap, especially U.S. foundational models versus the new ones coming out of China?
I'm happy to. On the U.S. side, it was a big week for agents and updates. Google released a fresh set of AI agents designed for full business workflows. Things like handling multi-step tasks across Gmail, Docs, and enterprise tools with built-in approvals. Anthropic dropped an update to Claude Opus 4.7, sharpening reasoning and coding. And OpenAI just rolled out GPT 5.5, which focuses on better coding, research, and more intuitive computer use. These are still the premium closed models that big enterprises rely on.
Sounds like the U.S. labs are pushing hard on practical agent-style AI. What about China?
China had the headline grabber. On April 24th, DeepSeek released the V4 preview, both the Pro and Flash versions. These are fully open source on Hugging Face, come with a massive 1 million token context window, and show huge gains in math, coding, and long context reasoning. They're also optimized to run efficiently on Huawei's AIIn chips. Other Chinese labs like Moonshot and Zhipu had recent updates too, but DeepSeek V4 is the one getting all the buzz.
Okay, so how do these Chinese models actually stack up in performance against the top U.S. models right now?
Straight answer, U.S. models are still ahead on most benchmarks. According to the new Stanford AI Index 2026, the overall gap has narrowed to just 2.7%. Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.7, OpenAI's GPT 5.5, and Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro still hold the top spots in complex reasoning, multimodal task, and real-world agent performance. DeepSeek V4 Pro beats every other open model in math and coding and is very close in world knowledge, but it still trails the absolute best closed U.S. models by a noticeable margin.
A 2.7% gap is tiny compared to a few years ago, but I'm guessing there's more to the story?
A lot more. First major point, the Chinese are building these models under serious hardware restrictions. Thanks to U.S. export controls, they can't buy the latest NVIDIA H100s or Blackwell chips. They're training on Huawei AIIn hardware that's roughly 30 to 50% less efficient. The fact that DeepSeek V4 is this competitive while running on crippled GPUs shows incredible optimization and engineering smarts.
So they're squeezing impressive results out of weaker hardware. That's impressive. What else?
Second, they're open sourcing aggressively. DeepSeek V4 is fully open weights under Apache 2.0. Developers worldwide can download it, fine-tune it, and build on it for free. This creates a huge ecosystem advantage. U.S. frontier models like GPT 5.5 and Claude stay mostly closed and proprietary.
That openness must be accelerating adoption outside the big labs. And pricing.
Third, and maybe biggest differentiator, pricing. Chinese models are often 5 to 10 times cheaper per token. DeepSeek's offerings make high-volume use, agent workflows, and startups incredibly affordable. U.S. models charge premium rates for their performance edge.
To sum it up, U.S. still has the performance crown, but China wins on resilience, openness, and cost.
Exactly. The Stanford report shows U.S. and Chinese models have actually traded the lead multiple times since early 2025. China also leads globally in AI publications, patents, and real-world deployment like industrial robots. They're making powerful AI abundant and accessible to way more people and companies.
Does this put serious pressure on U.S. companies to rethink their closed-source, high-price strategy?
It does. We're heading toward a split market. U.S. labs owning the high-trust, premium enterprise space where safety and peak performance matter most, while Chinese and open models commoditize intelligence for everything else: startups, developers, emerging markets, and high-volume apps. The real battle is shifting from who has the smartest model to who makes intelligence most useful and affordable at scale.
Fascinating stuff. One more angle. Any risks or downsides to this Chinese surge?
Sure. There are valid concerns around data privacy, potential backdoors, and reliance on models tied to Chinese companies. Some U.S. labs have accused Chinese teams of distilling knowledge from their closed models. On the flip side, this competition is pushing everyone to innovate faster, which ultimately benefits users with better and cheaper AI tools.
Great overview, Randy. This really shows how dynamic the AI race has become. Thanks for breaking it all down.